Another session of parliamentary discourse beckons, and NCA Parliament is here for all the updates. The 6th extraordinary session of the Pan-African Parliament has held in Midrand, South Africa, just as the 148th Assembly of the Inter-Parliamentary Union convened on Geneva, Switzerland. This is a special package of Global Parliament, and it is reaching you from the city of Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Welcome. I am Vivian Ikepefo. We commence the business of the day with the news segment.
President of the Nigerian Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has made a case for increased efforts in parliamentary diplomacy. Akpabio, who was speaking at the 148th Assembly of the Inter-Parliamentary Union held in Geneva, Switzerland, called for more progress in parliamentary diplomacy, noting that though the Nigerian parliament has explored the concept and achieved a myriad of successes, more can still be done.
It is often said that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man, but the parliament remains the first hope of the common man. Why? Because except the parliament makes the right laws and create the enabling legal environment for peace and justice, the judiciary can neither dispense justice nor peace. The parliament must therefore remain the melting pot of every country's unity and peace. The parliament must hold a significant responsibility in curbing polarization and ensuring peace and progress through legislations. We have done that a lot in Nigeria, but one remarkable legislative milestone that I would like to share with you is the not too young to run bill, which was passed in 2018. This landmark legislation amended sections of the Constitution, lowering the age qualification for various offices in the country, thereby giving opportunities to young people and women, providing a level playing ground for the youth to compete in all legislative offices and be part of nation building.
Turning to the situation at Gaza, President of the Nigeria Senate, Godswill Akpabio, called on the International Parliamentary Union, IPU, to lend a strong voice to the restoration of lasting peace to war-torn Gaza.
We have people who cannot see water to drink, even as we are talking now. We have those who are going to suffer from infections due to gunshots. We have to show the world that we are human beings. Cessation of hostilities must be part of our resolution. Access to humanitarian aid must be part of our resolution. At the same time, release of hostages and even those who are possibly prisoners of war. Because if both sides should take a step, releasing the hostages, releasing the prisoners of war, it means that both sides have agreed that the international community can go to the next step, which is negotiation for sustainable peace. So, if we cannot...
In the same vein, the leader of the South African parliamentary delegation to the IPU, Sylvia Lucas, has called for urgent measures by international parliaments to stem the tide of humanitarian crisis at Gaza.
Our crucial proposal underscores a series of critical actions that, if backed by our collective effort, can catalyze positive change and relieve the immense suffering of civilians in the region, particularly women and children.
A new bureau has emerged at the Pan-African Parliament. This follows the election into vacant positions of the President, First and Fourth Vice Presidents. Senator Fortune Charumbira of Zimbabwe pulled 127 of 172 votes to return re-elected. At the commencement of the 6th extraordinary session held at PAP headquarters in Midrand, South Africa, a 5-member delegation from the Nigerian National Assembly were sworn in alongside 40 other MPs. They are Senator Saliu Mustafa, Senator Victor Ume, Philip Agbese, Professor Lilian Ugburu, and Mukhtar Zakari Chawai. To other assembly matters now. The United Africa Royal Assembly, URA, is calling for dialogue and cooperation to stem the escalating diplomatic tensions between the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, and Rwanda. The President of the Assembly, His Imperial Highness Prince Estefanos Matwas, made the call when he received King Fabrice Zumbi Kavabioko of Mini Congo. The meeting called on President Felix Tshisekedi of the DRC and President Paul Kagame of Rwanda to engage in constructive dialogue aimed at resolving their differences and reducing tensions along their shared border.
That takes us into the next business of the day. What do you know about the African Union? Did you know that the African Union has two structures by which it promotes participation of African citizens in governance? We turn the searchlight on the Pan-African Parliament, one of the organs of the AU that promotes citizen participation in governance. Midrand, South Africa, played host to members of parliament of member states of the AU from March 20th to 27th. During this extraordinary session, a new bureau was elected, headed by Senator Fortune Charumbira of Zimbabwe. We bring you excerpts from the press conference which held after the elections.
Silencing the guns is a major challenge on this continent. We are actually very disappointed, even as a continent of parliament, that we still have unconstitutional changes of government in this day and age. Those things used to be common in the 70s, 70s. And after 1980, they disappeared. And I think from 2000, we had a very peaceful period. But all of a sudden, the coups are back, the military back in offices. Currently, we have probably more than 6 or so such governments. That is a saddening situation for Africa. The Pan-African Parliament, and one of its mandates or functions is to ensure that there is democracy on the continent, the culture of democracy. And democracy only exists if we do not have military coups. But this is a subject that our committee, we have a committee which is specific on that subject, whose portfolio is to look at the issues of conflict on the continent. We call it Committee on Cooperation, International Relations, and Conflict Resolution. This committee has been active in the past when we were well funded. It has been all over the continent, Sudan, Darfur, DRC, West African countries. We've done very well. We want to rejuvenate those activities because we need to understand as a parliament first. We need to understand as a parliament what is causing the conflict. What is causing the conflict? It's quite a serious issue. But maybe as I leave that subject, as I leave this subject, I want you to be reminded by what once happened in my sister's country, Mauritania here. I think it was 2008 or so when the late President Gaddafi was the chair of the AU. There was a coup in Mauritania when Gaddafi was chair of the AU. Then the AU said, we no longer accept a government that is run by the military. No ways. Impose sanctions, all sorts of things. So, chair of AU Gaddafi, can you go to Mauritania and tell them that this is a non-starter? Please, military, go back to the barracks. When His Excellency Gaddafi landed in Nouakchott in Mauritania to tell the Mauritanians that the coups are no longer allowed in Africa, the AU said no. He was received, that is the meaning Gaddafi, was received by thousands of people in the whole country, saying, Mr. Gaddafi, these people who overthrew the government, we love them so much, we like, they were celebrating the military. The whole country was celebrating the military. So the AU's agenda of unconstitutional of government means was more theory. People liked the military. It's for another day. It's for another day. So what are the dynamics? There's something about Africa that is lacking. And I would want the media to keep asking us these questions. Why do we have this appetite in Africa for military coups? And maybe because we're here to learn, you know, in Burkina Faso, some 7-8 years ago, the parliament changed or amended the constitution to allow the president, the sitting president, another extra term after 2 terms. You all know that the people voted and they banned the parliament, telling the MPs, who told you to amend the constitution? So I'm simply saying, when we say democracy, even where we people who are elected, media, you are a platform to try and communicate with the citizens of this continent. We need some, I don't know what you can call it, memorandum of understanding, whatever, with the media. Let's work together. I remember at one point, maybe 2003, yes, no, 2023, we agreed with you, the media, that we wanted to have a platform, PAP and the media, where we share from time to time and you remind us. The best way is to go back to the media, but also PAP itself should conduct itself in a manner that will build confidence in the public, in the citizens of this country. I'm president of PAP, but certainly if you ask me, no, PAP has not quite conducted itself in order to build confidence in the public. So this bureau, that's item number 1, beginning this week. What is it that we should correct about the image of Pan-African Parliament? One thing that is clear about PAP, why we have these problems also, we have too many elections. Over the past, if you look at the past 4 or 5 years, too many elections. And each time we have an election, there is a lot of acrimony, a lot of fighting, and other behaviors which I can't disclose to the public. So we'll try and do that. What is PAP? I think we'll invite you to, in May, we'll have a day where we'll again want to do some reflections on PAP since 2004. I promise that when we come for the May session, we will dedicate a day and the media will be invited. I think there are 2 issues. We have what we call external audit reports for the years 2022 going backwards. a natural audit queries going back I don't know how many years. Those are acceptable, and from time to time in my speech I told you that we have been reducing. Some of these are not about our bureau. Some of these will be like 2021, 2019. If there was a query, we work on it to make sure that we correct. Then there is the issue which started after August 2023. I think that's a unique period. There has been no external audit during that period, which means there has been no audit on this bureau, external audit, which is there. So where is this coming from? I want to be clear. It becomes just an electioneering type of gimmick. When you talk of August, prior to August, between 2022 June and August 2023, I think let's be careful. What happened during that period, I think you will learn as you go. It was just people who were using some unprocedural way to try and assassinate characters and say, this is what happened. Then there's a question that they asked, why didn't we hold the session in August and November last year? Where did the money go? Or you took the money. That's very, very unfortunate, very unfair. If you want documents, I can give you. In March 2023 and May 2023, our finance committee here presented a report here and said the budget allocation for 2023 can only cover committee session in March and plenary session in May, and it's done, it's over. If you want details, the AU allocated totally insufficient fund for 2023. They worked on the assumption that because they were planning in 2022, they thought COVID would continue, so we would be sitting virtually. And reduced the amount for the March session for committees, which is usually 900 per session, 1,000. They reduced it to 500 for 2 sessions, March and August. You see, just look at the mathematics. That you usually use 900, you are given 500 to cover 2 sessions. When 900 is about the minimum for 1, but you are given 500 for 2. But we managed within the constraints to hold the March session. But to have change for August was impossible. The same with the May session. For a proper 2 session, we need about 1.3 million for a session. We were allocated 900 for 2, 900,000 for 2 sessions. Again, it was impossible. But we did the May session, and indeed there was no money. I presented the foreign ministers on the need to have more money for Papa, and they said yes, give them. That money never came. And that's why there was no session, there was no money. Simply no money allocated by the AU. But it has been used for political electioneering. No. But look, that's just politics. Forget about it. These are the questions.
Up next is Parliamentary Journal, a segment that breaks down parliamentary jargons. Well, on that note, we adjourn this session of Global Parliament. Remember to engage with us on the platforms displayed on the screen. Till we come again next week, on behalf of the production crew, I am Vivian Idekwepo. Many thanks for being part of this session.